Hi, this is Erin from Blossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to make a floral summery dressing table centerpiece featuring delicate dried flowers, shimmering glitter and crystal clear resin. It's part of an international crafting collaboration celebrating summer, organised by Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner. I'll give you more information and details during the video and also in the description box below. If you're new to my channel, a very warm welcome, and those of you who have watched my videos before might recognise these little houses up in the top left, and I have now got this little base for them, and it's the first time I've used this mould, and I'm going to be using these beautiful dried flowers from Resiners, and I'm going to try and make a really delicate ring around the outer and inner circles of little flowers and a couple of little bits of greenery as well. Now, Resiners did send me these, and I'll put all the details below if you would like to get some more information about them. And they also included these amazing little tweezers, which is just so handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pick out ones that are the right size, and I'm going to fill the edges up, and I'm also going to choose a couple of key pieces to pop into the little houses. I want those to be quite simple but elegant, and I'm just loving sorting through these flowers. The ones that aren't suitable for this project, I'm looking at thinking, oh, I could do this and I could do that. It's so nice to have such a wonderful selection. Now, I'm going to be using the beautiful River Art resin deep pour. Now, this resin is a 2-to-1 epoxy resin, and it is very crystal clear. I love using it, and I know that it's going to be pretty much bubble free. You do run a risk when you're working with inclusions like this of trapping a lot of air bubbles, so I know it probably won't be the same as normal, but I'm hoping that I can get a really lovely finish. I've just drizzled a little bit of the resin down into each of these channels, and the hope is that I can then place the pieces of greenery or flowers in there, move them into position, and they will be anchored by the resin. And I'm just going to be double checking that pieces aren't floating up or sticking out and things like that. And it's hard for me not to do things that are symmetrical, and I know it's going to be very difficult for something like this to be symmetrical, so there is going to be a certain randomness to this, and believe it or not, that's really way out of my comfort zone and not easy to do. But the theme for this collaboration is summer, and for me, summer is floral, flowers, pretty pinks, plums, all those beautiful greenery, and I want it to feel very delicate, natural, and just, yeah, I just want it to have that beautiful summery feel. So I'm just going to place pieces in as I choose them and hope that they end up looking fairly natural, and there is still a little bit of symmetry going on. You might notice I'm placing some things opposite to others and things like that, but again, I'm just trying to really encapsulate that feeling for me of summer, that's just that beautiful flowers and just thinking about a gentle breeze, and yeah, hopefully we'll see how we go. Now, with the houses, these normally come in a set of 3, but I'm only using 2 for this particular make. And I've chosen these 2 gorgeous little pieces here of, it's almost like I've seen Claire use some dried flowers she's called, I think, bunny tails. They almost look like that. They've got a really delicate colour and they've got some pretty greenery, so I thought they would look nice. And then I'm also going to make this little elephant set. So this is a set of 4 elephants and they have a heart and they all fit together like a little jigsaw puzzle. And I just decided to use some larger petal pieces for this, and then for the heart section I'm going to use some of the really teeny little darker coloured ones. I used exactly the same process here as with the base and the houses, just pouring in a little bit of that clear resin and then laying the pieces on top of that, and just enough to anchor them down really. So 24 hours later, this is where we are at. So I'm really happy with how the pieces here have settled in, and I can see through the edge of the silicone mould that everything is where it should be. But I get to the elephants and I just don't like them. I don't like how I've done the petal, so I decide to pull those pieces out, and I am going to recycle that resin, don't worry. They will go into other pieces. And then I decide to do something a little bit different with the elephants. So I add in some clear resin from a fresh batch that I've mixed up, and then I make sure that that gets into all the little nooks and crannies of the elephants, and I take some of this gorgeous shimmering pink glitter. Now this came from Resiners also, and it is just so pretty, and there's so many different patterns in here, so I've just chosen a couple I think will work well together, mixed it with resin, and then I'm just dropping tiny little delicate sort of patches. I want them to look like a little summery carpet of flowers. Oh dear. I also put a little bit into the houses, and just to add that tiny little bit of pink glitter that's going to actually blend all of the 3 pieces together. There's not much going in there at all at this stage. As I said, I just want it to be very delicate and like this little hint of a field of pink flowers. The base also gets the same treatment, just these delicate little dots everywhere, and it's looking so summery and so pretty, very feminine, floral. Really happy with it so far. I do have a little bit of this beautiful glitter mixture left over, and I don't want to waste it, and I decide to just put some drops onto my silicone mat, and I know that that means that when I come to the next layer I'll be able to peel these pieces off and drop them in, and it won't make it look crowded or too busy or anything. I really want to have the vision of multiple layers to this, quite a lot of depth, and just that summery floral goodness all the way through. This is reminding me so much now of my Mermaid Tears video, and if you haven't watched that and you have a slightly warped sense of humour, I'll link that in the description box below. I played it to my mum over the last week. I was up in Devonport, where I'm from, and it sadly had become time for mum to move into a nursing home, and So the last couple of days we spent just having so much fun watching silly videos and things like that. And I played her this mermaid video. It was for a horror collaboration. And she just kept turning to me. Is this all from your head? Yes, yes it was. So I'll link that below. Now remember the elephant pieces I didn't like. This is me attempting to see if I can hide them in another piece. So what I've done is I've popped a little bit of resin down, and then I've used the Resiners laser silver and red holographic glitter, and then I've put more resin over, more glitter, and yeah, I'm not sure if I show you at the end, but it does turn out pretty well, and I'm happy that those pieces are now used in another piece and not wasted. So I leave everything here to cure again for another 24 hours, and then it's time to start working on the next layer. So I'm able to just peel off those little drops of glitter that have now cured and pop those randomly into the pieces, knowing that they will now give another layer and more depth to the houses and the elephants, and yeah, they'll virtually become invisible as well once I add more clear resin over them. I added in just enough clear resin to take the level of the houses and the elephants just up to about 2 millimeters from the top of the mould. So then these cure for 24 hours, and then the next step is to do the backing for all of the pieces. So for this, I choose to use a really pale pink colour. So I've got my beautiful clear River Art resin, and I know I haven't got much room in the base or the other pieces, so it's got to be opaque, but I still want it to look delicate and pretty. So I'm using some cream mica powder, and then I'm going to add in the teeniest little amount of flamingo pink, and I'm going to mix that together, just as I said, to get that it's got to be opaque because I don't want you to be able to see through it, but it also has to still be very delicate. I know that the Pearlex powder in particular, the pink, is going to give it the most gorgeous luster and shine, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, that beautiful summery feel. Once I've got it to the exact tint I'm looking for, it's just a matter of pouring it over the top of all of the pieces, and then again another 24 hours. I did say this took many days to make because I really wanted that layered look, and you just have to give that look time. I'd much rather work with epoxy resin as well than UV resin, and yeah, so it does take time to cure between layers, but for me it was worth it. So this goes on beautifully. It looks so delicate, very summery and very pretty. And then time for the demolding. I was very nervous about what these pieces would look like. This collaboration that Claire's organised has been deliberately set up just for smaller channels, under 15,000 subscribers, which almost makes me giggle that 15,000 would be smaller. I have 1,000 subscribers, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I can't even imagine getting to 5,000, 10,000 or close to 15,000. So, but I think it's lovely that Claire has designed this collaboration for those of us who might be just starting out and still growing their channel. So our first little elephant is out, and they are so pretty. Definitely summery. They have these gorgeous little pink glitter pieces in them that just are so sparkly and pretty. I'm really happy as well with the colour that I blended for the background. It's adding to it, not taking away anything. It doesn't overshadow anything at all. And I'm loving the layers when you see these from the side. And then lastly, I pop out that cute little heart. This is the one with the teeny little dried flowers from Resiners in it, and that's so cute, and it looks so 3D. And I pop that in, and I'm very happy with my little elephant family. They will look so beautiful on a shelf or a bookcase or something. Now, time to have a look at the first of the two houses, and oh my goodness, I am just blown away by the clarity of this resin. I love the dried flowers that I chose to put in there. They are just stunning, and the little bit of greenery, perfect. And let's have a look at the next one. It's so clear, this resin. You can see the little channels where the windows are formed through it. It's just beautiful. Definitely doing this in layers was worth the wait. Now, time to demould this base. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it's the first time I've ever used this mould. I've really wanted to see how it will turn out. And why I decided the first time had to be with, for me, difficult dried flowers. I don't know, but anyway, we'll see. I'm loving what I can see so far. There's a lot of suction in this silicone mould. It was easy to get off, but it definitely was stuck in there a little bit. And here we go. It's just breathtaking. So the base is so delicate and pretty, and the edges are crystal clear with those delicate little flowers. And look, I could not wait to set them up and see what it looked like. It's just so pretty. I can just see this on a very feminine dressing table or vanity, perfect for popping little bits of jewellery or makeup or things in like that. And it is so summery, so delicate, so feminine, and I'm really, really happy with it. The dried flowers are so pretty. The pink glitter is perfect. The resin is crystal clear where it needs to be, and I could not be happier. Huge thanks to Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner for making this collaboration happen, and I'll link the playlist below. You will not believe the talent of the 40 plus international crafty people who also collaborated together to celebrate summer. And even though it's winter here in Tasmania for me, I was still thrilled to be able to participate. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.